So you guys are on tour again with the Ghost Inside. So how was it touring with them over in Europe?
It was a fantastic time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, I don't know, it was just a nice long tour that had tons of kids coming out to the shows, and I was telling people, because people were like, oh my god, 24 people on one bus, like, that must suck. And I was like, no, there was 24 of like the best people I possibly ever met. Like all the Devil in Me guys, everyone was so cool. All the These Nuts guys, everyone, like I said, was so cool, and everyone in the Ghost Inside was great. So it was just fun every day.
Awesome.
Yeah, we had some great shows too. Like Munich had like 1,400 kids. It was just fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Overall, it was awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was great.
Was that your first European tour?
No. Stray from the Path has been over there like I think 2 other times before this one.
Okay.
I was in a different band for like a couple years, and we had done like 6 European tours. So no, it was not my first time over there by far, and it was Stray's maybe like 2nd or 3rd time.
Okay, cool.
I kind of forget because we went over there and mainly did UK one time, but that's what it was. The first time we went there it was UK, but we had like 2 mainland Europe shows, so that kind of counts.
Okay.
But, yeah.
So then, how did you guys all meet?
In the band? The scene that we grew up in on Long Island is super close-knit, especially when we were much younger. Like, Stray from the Path has been a band, most people don't know it, but since like Tom, our guitar player, was in like early high school, so his band would play with some of my old bands, and everyone that went to hardcore shows in like the Long Island kind of like DIY community were just, everyone was friends. It was such a great hardcore scene to be involved with. But Drew, our singer, Tom, our guitar player, and Anthony, our bass player, actually all 3 of them went to high school together.
Okay.
So they would have known each other regardless.
Right.
I went to high school maybe like 15 minutes away from them, but like I said, we all were in the same community, and I was in a band that played with Stray a ton. And before I was even in Stray from the Path, me and Drew, singer, would like hang out. Just
cool.
All the time, not even as bandmates, just hang out like buddies.
Right. So when did you start playing drums, and what made you want to be a drummer?
My father was a drummer, so I grew up with a drum kit in my basement like my whole life. But I used to hate when he would play the drums like when I was a little kid, because I would like be playing video games and I couldn't hear the TV, and I'd tell my mom to make him stop.
Yeah.
I guess it was around 4th grade, because that's when I was big into music my whole life, like just listening to music since I was like 2 or 3 years old, But I think around 4th grade, that's when you had to pick an instrument for like school if you wanted to play in school band.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
and I was like,
same for
I
us.
guess I'll just play the drums, because I thought my dad was like the coolest guy on earth, and he is.
Yep.
So I was like, I want to do that, and I could easily just take a pair of drumsticks from him, so I didn't have to go to the store and get a pair. So yeah, I guess around 4th grade. I didn't really play a drum kit until a little bit after that, but that's when I chose, like, I'm a drummer.
And what do you try to do differently when you write drum parts? Like, what makes your sound unique?
Do you think my sound's unique?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's funny because I've only played in like old school kind of like melodic hardcore bands.
Yeah. My
whole like touring career up until I was in Stray. So I kind of took like this, I guess like I was always just playing fast beats like like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess I took that, what I learned from that, and my wrists were just like blazing fast, from doing this every day for 6 years or 7 years. I was able to put like a different spin on what you would normally hear on like a band like Stray from the Path, because I've been in the band for like 5 years now, and like Make Your Own History was the first record that I was on, and I just always try to think what would be interesting here and not what people expect, because the last thing I ever want to do is sound like some sort of cookie cutter band. Is especially like being on Sumerian, I feel like we're one of the few bands on Sumerian that kind of like stand out as being like kind of an oddball band on the label. So yeah, I guess I just be mindful that I don't need to play what people expect me to play, and I don't need to play what comes first in my head. Like, let me sit down and like actually think about this. Like, is this what suits the part best? Like, am I putting enough effort into this part?
Right.
So I guess it's just being mindful, and also it helps that I've never played in a band like this before I was in this band.
Right.
So I already had a different mindset coming into it.
And what band got you into the hardcore scene?
There was a band, I was actually in the band for a little bit, but before I was in the band, there was this band from Long Island called The Backup Plan.
Okay.
It was kind of like Kid Dynamite, like Lifetime type stuff. And they were my favorite band of all time, and I actually ended up joining the band, so it was kind of silly for me to say that. But they were actually the first like legitimate hardcore show I went to, because I grew up my whole life listening to like rock and stuff like that. And, but like Guns N' Roses is like my all-time favorite band because I've been listening to them since I was 3 years old.
Okay.
Like the huge Misfits fan, huge Minor Threat fan, and then like Rage Against the Machine was another one of my favorite bands. And then when a buddy of mine, this older kid that played drums in high school, showed me this band called The Backup Plan, and I was like, why haven't I heard of this band? Like, I didn't understand that there were bands that existed off of MTV. Like, I didn't know that. You know what I mean? Oh my God, there's these other bands that exist. Oh, and they're playing the VFW hall that's like 5 minutes from my house. Are you kidding me? You know what I mean?
And then can you tell us a little bit about your new single called Landmines?
Sure, yeah. We recorded it at the Machine Shop with Will Putney.
Okay.
He's an amazing producer and engineer. It's in New Jersey. I guess it showcases our maybe the style that we're going for now. We haven't changed up our style like a ton, but it's definitely a new direction for us. A bit more like, I guess, groove oriented.
Okay.
All of us collectively, I guess, had the same idea where we don't need to impress people anymore. Because there are so many bands out there that I call them "look what I can do" bands.
Yeah.
Where they just noodle like, and it's like, all right, I get it. Like,
cool.
I get it. You're tremendously talented at your instrument. Like, you put in a lot of hours, like sitting in your apartment by yourself, eating your socks, like with some candy, fiddling around on your guitar. And but write me a damn song. Like, you just wrote me 6 minutes of you showing off.
Right.
And that's not a song to me. Like, some of the best bands in the world have like the most simple stuff.
Right.
Like, some of the best bands in the world, they can't even play their instruments. Like, look, Bob Dylan. That guy can't sing. But he's huge. The dude cannot sing. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, we realized we don't need to be. I think maybe part of being on Sumerian was like, wow, there's so many talented bands in this label. We really need to like impress if we want to like stand out. So that was the mindset of going into the Landmines, that single, and we wanted to put it out early so people could kind of get the gist of what our new record will be about. And that new record will be coming out in like the fall sometime. We don't have a date. It's still getting mixed. In the fall sometime.
All right. So it's all recorded though.
Yeah, everything's all recorded. Awesome. Every song is done. We're just waiting on getting the mixes back.
Okay.
Yeah. Really,
awesome.
Really excited about it.
Yeah.